Alright, so my name is Tony Huang, and today we're going to talk about the Industrial Revolution in China. So more specifically, we are talking about the environmental problems of the Industrial Revolution in China. According to the New York Times, no country in history has emerged as a major industrial power without creating a legacy of environmental damage that can take decades and billions of public wealth to undo. So China has actually created a lot of environmental damage to the environment, and despite the good things that the Industrial Revolution does, which gives them good economics, despite all of those things, it still is going to take a long time to undo all these problems. And some of these problems include, for example, the coal plants that create particles less than 10 microns in diameter, and basically they make up most of the pollution in the air and all that smog that we have right now. So this stuff that's created by the coal factories can cause respiratory and cardiovascular diseases, and they can also cause, most famously known as acid rain. And also through the emission of vehicles and cars that have relation to the Industrial Revolution, of course, as well. Those cars can emit PM 2.5, which is another pollutant, which means that they're just particles that are less than 2.5 microns in diameter. So PM 2.5 causes lung and heart chronic diseases. Another problem that the Industrial Revolution in China has brought upon the environment is that there's a lot of wastewater, and water wells in Beijing and Hebei have to be dug half a mile before they reach fresh water, because most of the freshwater supplies are depleted or polluted. That problem is partially also because China's industry uses 4 to 10 times more water per unit per production than average. And many factories also dump their wastewater into the river and surface water, so they cause really bad water. And because of all these factories not being so efficient, and because they pollute the rivers and the water and the surface water in China, because of these very serious, severe consequences, to not have the public be outraged, what they did was the Chinese government did not allow the publishers to publish anything about the environmental effects about the Industrial Revolution. Entire ecosystems have been destroyed because of all this pollution that's been caused. And so because of all these environmental implications, the natural world can no longer be taken for granted just for industrialization. In the recent years, China has been developing low carbon technologies, and they've had world-leading investments into renewable energy. Another way they're solving that problem is they're planting the trees back again that they cut down for industrialization. And throughout economic growth and new technologies being developed, it led to a greater public demand in environment. Economic growth will not change the environment, but changes in behavior and government regulation will definitely bring changes in the long term. An example of the public demand for a good environment would be that the people of Beijing have called for government action to reduce air pollution. And no matter if they're rich or poor, all of them are demanding that. And people are being confined indoors for days and weeks because they suffer respiratory problems due to that pollution. And sometimes the rich, they just leave the place. But some people aren't as fortunate and they can't afford that. The environment has been increasingly concerning in this day of age in the Industrial Revolution phase of China. And the pollution to the environment is causing a lot of damage to the environment, including polluted waterways, polluted air, and health risks that come along with those implications. If China were to change their behaviors throughout their Industrial Revolution and change the government regulation, the condition in which the revolution leaves on the environment will be significantly different.